The scene shifts to the pushed-back Western Defense Line base, where Chris steps out of his tent. He hadn't been able to sleep the previous night. Nearby, Kevin stares silently at his sword, lost in thought, remembering the moment Count Nicholas had told Chris, "To win the coming war, we need both Roman and you. I will defeat Hannibal and follow soon." At that moment, an injured soldier bursts into the camp and reports that Count Nicholas has been taken down by the enemy. Chris clenches his fists, silently confronting the truth he had tried to deny. He had cowardly chosen to believe in Count Nicholas's words, but deep down, he already knew. He had been afraid, terrified in the face of overwhelming fear. If only he had been strong enough to support Count Nicholas, perhaps the outcome could have been different. Watching Kevin and the other soldiers, Chris thinks to himself that he, too, had once longed to be personally taught by Lord Roman. But Roman had told him that he was someone who could find the answer on his own. Chris feels a sense of doubt wash over him. He can't even trust himself. Yet Roman believed in him. Roman, who always stood tall, believed that Chris could carve his own path. Motivated by that trust, Chris begins to focus his aura and starts practicing. As he trains, frustration mounts within him. What should I do? How can I find the answer myself? He wonders. He grows agitated, grappling with uncertainty. Then, a memory surfaces, Lord Roman's guidance. Roman had once told him not to focus on the overwhelming, explosive force of aura. The true power of aura lies not in its destruction, but in its essence. At that moment, clarity strikes Chris. The essence of aura is not wild, chaotic power. It is the energy that permeates all things. It is already within him. With newfound understanding, Chris releases his aura, and a radiant light engulfs the surroundings. He enters a transcendent state of selflessness, known as mujijiang. His body begins to undergo a dramatic transformation. His hair grows longer, and an otherworldly calm overtakes him. The next morning, the camp begins to stir. The other soldiers awaken, confused by the bright glow outside. They step out and are shocked to see Chris, his face and hair glowing with a divine aura. Chris turns to them and calmly instructs, "Get ready for morning training." One soldier, stunned, mutters to himself, "I feel like I've seen this before." Chris, meanwhile, reflects on his breakthrough. What he just discovered isn't Lord Roman's martial art, nor Commander Jonathan's secret technique. This is something unique, something that belongs solely to him. The scene then shifts to the Kronos Empire camp, where a soldier rushes in with a report. He informs Duke Bamford that Roman Dimitry is advancing with his forces. One of the Kronos commanders is stunned. A full-scale battle against 300,000 troops? Roman must be insane. Another commander cautions, "We shouldn't jump to conclusions. This could be a diversion meant to throw Kronos off. We must hold our positions and avoid rash decisions." A heated argument breaks out between the commanders. Duke Bamford enters, commanding silence. Whatever Roman's intention is, it doesn't matter. A mere kingdom can never defeat an empire. But if we allow Roman to build momentum and pride, the entire continent will mock Kronos. With steely resolve, Duke Bamford issues an order. From this moment forward, Kronos will personally eliminate Roman Dimitry. The soldiers respond in unison, "Yes, sir." The battlefield is now a place where only strength will determine victory. The next day, the battlefield is set. Duke Bamford leads the Kronos forces, while Roman Dimitry commands his own. Roman steps forward, calm and composed, and announces his challenge. "I challenge the Kronos Empire to a champion's duel." Hannibal steps forward, volunteering to face Roman. But Duke Bamford interrupts. "I do not permit it," he says coldly. Inwardly, he wonders, does Roman really intend to settle this by force? There must be a hidden scheme behind this. Roman smirks. "If Duke Bamford fears a duel with me, then feel free to change the offer. I will withdraw from the champion's duel. How about a 2-on-2 match without me instead?" He pauses, then adds, "But if you reject even this, then there will be no champion's duel." Duke Bamford is visibly angered. He finds Roman's tone arrogant. "Do you know why Kronos is the strongest empire on the continent? Because we possess enough talent to fill this vast land," he declares. With that, he accepts the challenge. Roman turns to Chris and Kevin. As they step forward, he says, "From this moment on, I appoint you both as Dimitri's champions. If either of you lacks confidence, you may step down. Chris and Kevin bow their heads respectfully. Thank you for the opportunity, they say. We will not disappoint you. We will win. Furious, Duke Bamford shouts, Diego, step forward and defeat your opponent. Diego, Kronos rank number 6 and the 12th ranked sword on the continent, moves to the front lines. As one of the legendary 12 swords, Diego steps forward and declares that he has heard tales of the famed loyalty among the Dimitry warriors. He mocks Chris, suggesting that Chris seems ready to suffer grievous injuries in service to his master. I wonder, Diego sneers, how long Roman Dimitry will remember such loyalty. Chris responds with a calm, yet piercing gaze. Are you planning to fight with your mouth? He asks. Frustrated, Diego charges at Chris with full force, swinging his sword in a powerful arc. Chris, however, effortlessly blocks the attack with his own blade. Observing from a distance, Roman thinks to himself that while many call Chris the greatest talent of Dimitry, he disagrees with that simple label. As Chris and Diego exchange strikes, each blow infused with aura, Roman becomes certain that, on the Salamander continent, no talent surpasses Chris. Chris channels his aura into his blade and swiftly closes the distance between him and Diego, launching a precise strike. Diego narrowly dodges, and their swords clash again with immense force, pushing both back. Chris quickly regains his balance and unleashes a powerful aura-infused strike that wounds Diego. Seeing Diego still standing, Chris wonders if his strike was too shallow. Perhaps this new technique, still unfamiliar and difficult to control, isn't fully mastered yet. Enraged, Diego roars and releases his aura to its maximum, surrounding Chris in a swirling storm of energy. Chris remembers a time when he couldn't comprehend Lord Roman's teachings. Roman's words and actions had once felt cryptic and unclear. But now, standing in this duel, it all makes sense. Without hesitation, Chris charges at Diego again. Their blades clash once more, but this time, Chris quickly retreats, creating distance. Diego is surprised by the sudden change in pace and realizes just how fast Chris truly is. The nickname Flash of Dimitry is no exaggeration. Chris, now understanding that aura flows naturally, lets his energy move seamlessly from his core to his sword. With this clarity, he unlocks a technique beyond the flash step, his own creation. Gathering his aura, Chris dashes forward at lightning speed. In a single, blinding movement, he strikes Diego down. Diego, stunned, hadn't even seen the attack coming. How? Is this possible? He gasps, unable to comprehend what just happened. Duke Bamford watches in shock as Diego falls. Chris calmly lands the final strike, decisively defeating Diego. He turns his gaze toward Hannibal, the second-ranked swordsman in Kronos, who raises an eyebrow in interest. The Dimitry soldiers erupt in cheers, celebrating Chris's victory over a powerful Kronos commander. Duke Bamford, seething, cannot believe that Diego, one of the continent's 12 swords, was defeated by a mere 4-star aura swordsman. Furious, he wonders if the warriors of Dimitry defy all logic. If Kronos must eventually face Roman himself, they must protect their elite. Hannibal must be preserved at all costs. Duke Bamford summons another commander, Blanco, and addresses him with a grave expression. Your opponent is only a 3-star swordsman, he warns. But if you lose, your entire family will suffer the consequences. Blanco, resolute, steps forward and assures Duke Bamford, leave this duel to me. As Blanco and Kevin face each other, Blanco introduces himself. Kevin, however, remains silent, calmly beginning to release his aura. Blanco smirks. No words, huh? He too releases his aura, steeling himself with the thought that his family's safety depends on his victory. He vows to defeat Kevin in a single strike. Without delay, Blanco charges forward and strikes, but Kevin blocks it with his sword. As their blades collide, waves of aura ripple through the air. The surrounding soldiers watch in awe at the intensity of the duel. Blanco is surprised. This 3-star swordsman actually parried his attack. Kevin is gradually being pushed back under the pressure of Blanco's onslaught. Sensing an opening, Blanco aims to finish the fight, but Kevin suddenly activates his technique, mutual destruction. He launches a counterattack with the same strike. Blanco manages to evade, stepping back to assess the situation. He realizes that Kevin willingly risked injury to press forward. Does this guy have multiple lives or something? Blanco thinks. He's like a demon. Kevin then speaks. Not someone like you. I wanted to fight that 6-star swordsman from before. Confused, Blanco listens as Kevin continues. I'll launch 3 attacks now. Try blocking them. Blanco is irritated, finding Kevin unbearably arrogant. Suddenly, Kevin begins executing a forbidden technique, the Heavenly Demon Sword. Blanco is stunned by the ominous aura. Before he can react, Kevin unleashes 2 consecutive strikes, the first form of the front half and the second form of the front half. Kevin remembers Roman's words, that his body, shaped by the ghost soul demonic technique, cannot endure more than the front half of the Heavenly Demon Sword technique. But Roman had also said, that alone is enough. In the present, Kevin's strike lands with devastating force. Blanco is defeated easily, collapsing in shock. Kevin smirks and thinks, this is Lord Roman's technique. Turning to the fallen opponent, he says, I told you. I was hoping for a 6-star swordsman.